Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know how we do, so let's just get into it today. Today's topic, I was struggling with the title again, but I'm going to call it the Bloodless Civil War. And here we go. I mean, if you've noticed, like on Twitter and everything like that, some of the top leading trending topics are civil wars, and that's been for a while. Because I feel like we're pretty polarized in this nation right now, and I think I did a video before, just thinking about like what would happen if we actually had a civil war, right? And long story short, I feel like the South, the old Confederates would never leave us alone. Like even if you gave them an entire country, you split it up, let people vote, and somehow, some places in America, went for, uh, the Union, and some people went for the Confederates. I think if you split it up, they would still be fighting. Right? They would still find a way to blame the North, you know what I'm saying, and the woke folks for all of their problems. That's what I feel. But I digress. But kind of moving forward about like what can we do? I mean, is America as an experiment, is it going to work? I mean, I think if you know anything about American history, that like we've been divided since the beginning, and it's always been like this rural versus urban, this farmer versus banker, that has always threatened the unity. And then you throw race into there and sex as well, and it just adds more into the crazy mix. But what I'm posing is kind of a radical idea, that I think would solve all the problems in America. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, I think it will result in some retaliation, but I feel like at least initially, we will be able to make all the impact that we need to make. Um, my solution is, and I'm particularly talking to us black people, but I could also be talking to any people within the coalition that, are uniting for a party that has rights for all and access for all. Why don't we just move? Like, not out the country, but move from one of those ruby red states into a purple state, right? Like, in my perfect example is like a place like Mississippi. Like, Mississippi has, like, percentage wise, like the highest amount of black people in the country. And it's ruby red. They get no representation, right? Their state governments are constantly fucking them over and everything like that. And their voice is basically silent in national elections because it always goes for Republicans. So what if half the black population of Mississippi moved to Georgia? That would be enough to swing. Not only it would take away electoral power from Mississippi and take some electoral college votes away and give them to Georgia because of the population and new congressional delegates, and increase and turn that state into a blue state. Why don't we do this? Why, black people particularly, are we giving our time, money, sweat, and value to governments and states that hate us, that have systemically, through generations, have done things to freeze us out of representation? I was doing the math, and black people approximately make up 42 million people in this country, right? It's only about 12 to 13%. However, what that would represent in terms of electoral college vote, so I just compared it. So California has 54 electoral college votes, even though I think they're a little underrepresented, and we'll get into that later. They have 39 million people. So black people being 42 million people, I think we could kind of translate that into being anywhere between 56 and 60 electoral votes that black people collectively in this nation have strength towards. Let's take ourselves out of Arkansas, out of Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? Like out of Tennessee, out of Missouri. Stop giving them our blood, sweat, and tears. Stop giving them our tax dollars. Stop giving them our electoral college votes. Stop letting them gerrymander things. And let's take that, move to Arizona, move to Pennsylvania, move to Nevada, move to North Carolina. Let's take our money, time, and value into states that could actually make an impact for us. And we could change the nation indefinitely moving forward and stop giving these people the power, because we're surrendering it. If we're voting in a state essentially that's just overwhelmed, you know what I'm saying? Move to Michigan, move to these places. Black people, we need to have a mass exodus, I feel. And that, to me, that's the solution. You know what I'm saying? Like, more than anything else, what else are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to convince the government to care about us in certain ways, right? You're not going to convince the 47% of people that supported the Confederacy who supported Trump to change. I think when we've known that his support has been consistent, and it doesn't matter what he does. So we just have to change how we're fighting. And if you look at Black history in America, nothing has changed without threatening money, right? It's never been a moral argument. It's never been about, oh, we were feeling good about Black people and rights about any people. It's always been about economics. Real talk, the only reason slavery was abolished is because Lincoln said, how can I economically cripple the South? And how can I get more soldiers on my side? It was all about, it really wasn't about the moral argument. They supported slaves. You know what I'm saying? They had slaves throughout the North. It wasn't about that. Political power, economically crippling. That's what it's about, in military might. How did we get rights? Excuse me. With the Civil Rights Act. Like Montgomery bus boycott. You know what I'm saying? Like almost bankrupted the city. North Carolina bus boycotts. Black bus companies were the largest bus companies in the state. They weren't giving all them black dollars to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't trying to let stuff get bankrupt. They saw the power of the black dollar taking away from their communities and building ours up. So they said, oh no, let's throw them a little bone in the game. You know what I'm saying? So let's make sure that we playing the game correctly, and it's about our dollars collectively. And there's so many ways that we can do it, but sadly, like, the Black community doesn't have the solidarity we had in the civil rights movement, where people are really moving towards a collective goal where we can say, okay, the Black community is going to not purchase something on this day. I think, like, we're just so fragmented, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like we can move. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Why are we staying down there? Most Black people had to move, like, why most Black people are up north, right? Because after slavery, we had the Great Migration. I think we need another Great Migration. Get out of these racist states that are gerrymandering you so you don't have any local representation, whose police departments abuse you, whose electoral college votes that you're beefing up, who've given your tax dollars to. Why? Get out. There's room. Quick, easy video today. Hopefully gives you at least some food for thought. And until next time.